Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of One Handy Guy. That would be me. Anyway, we're going to do just a little short thing today, and I wanted to cover some ground, just some things that I'm trying to fix around the shop and make it where it just works a little better. You can see my welding table here, fixture table. I just built this a couple of months ago, and I'm really pleased with it, except for a few things. I had my local steel supplier. I bought a 5x10 sheet of 3/8 from them, had them drill. What I wanted was 5/8 inch holes all over on 2-inch centers. And they called and asked me if I wanted them just a slight bit bigger, you know, to make sure all of my fixtures would slide in and out simply, because it is a plasma cut. And, you know, when you're working with a plasma cutter, everything's not perfect. So I said, sure, go ahead. But ended up come back and everything is closer to 11/16 than it is 5/8. So I've had to redo a lot of my tooling, like my clamps here. I had to purchase some 11/16 inch rod, and I had to cut off all my 5/8 inch rods that are held together on this and just weld together some of this 11/16 so that they would properly go down the holes and fit nice and snug for my clamps. And I also made a bunch of little stops that I can easily put in and out. All I did there was cut some short pieces of 11/16 off of a rod and put a collar up here, tighten it down with a set screw, and they make for good little stops. Made several of those. As you can see, none of them fit perfect because I've got to ream each hole out with an 11/16 bit just to make sure that everything goes great. But anyway, I've got these clamps that once again had 5/8 inch bushings that are meant to go into a 5/8 inch table. And I don't know if you can see that clearly, but I've got to make one of those, or several of them actually, but we're just going to do one today, and make sure I use 11/16. So we're going to cut a little piece of the 11/16 rod and drill a hole and reattach it to this clamp, and that's kind of our project today. So here's the set screw that holds that clamp in place, and we'll just kind of go from there. So the first thing I got to do obviously is measure the length of the bushing that was on it, and it appears to be about 3/4 inches long. So we're just going to take a piece of this rod and mark out 3/4 of an inch and take it over to the bandsaw. And we'll cut that off and then bring it over here, drill it out, and see what we can do. So let's head over to the bandsaw. I'm going to see if I can swap this over to that camera. There we go. And I'm going to work my way over there. Lay this piece of rod down right there, stop the saw before we grab it, and that's the beginnings of our bushing. So we'll take this now, clean it up just a hair, and I'm going to put it on the drill press and see if we can make the proper hole, which I believe is about 5/16. Apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm still working on this live streaming, trying to make it seamless, and apparently now I've got some work to do. So, all right, let's bring this over. Let me find the right camera to go to the drill press. There we go. And let's see what we can do here. First thing we want to do is find center. which I've already got that marked out, so I'm going to use my little punch tool here, and I hope you can see it over here, and we are going to just poke a little mark. Let's do it on the other side. So now we have, I don't know if you can see here or not, get it up close, but we punched a little hole in the center. And we're ready to drill our pilot hole. You always want to start out with a small hole in the beginning and just work your way out, especially when you're dealing with something this small, trying to hang on to it. One of the things I like to do is clamp my little vise down, make sure that's going to hold it in place where I want it. Let me get this kind of lined up first. And one of the things I like about these videos is they're not edited. You're going to see a lot of mess ups, a lot of things that didn't go right, because this is the way it's going to work for you in real life. So I just want to kind of throw that in there so you know what's going on. I hope you're getting a good little view of that. It's hard for me to tell from here. Tell you what, let's try and center that up just a little bit better. I'll put it flat on the vise, and then I'll raise it out once we get about halfway through. Let me readjust this, and also I'm going to raise my drill up just a little bit. I think we're just down a little bit too far. That's a little better. Here, I think that's going to work much better. Okay, that's got our pilot hole through. So it needs to be a 5/16. We're going to go ahead and swap the bit over. We might have to lower the deck a little more. Not real happy that we didn't end up in the center, but we'll try it this way. If need be, we'll do another one. And I hope I ain't boring you to death. We're just trying to make this happen the way it would in normal real life. Okay, let's plug that back up, raise this up a little. Hopefully we'll be able to do it right there. Now let's clamp that down. poke through now. The chore's gonna be getting it out. A little bit toasty. I'm gonna throw me some gloves on here. You see we didn't quite make it through, so I'm gonna move this over. Better put both on before I grab it with my other hand. Clamp it back down, move it over where I can get all the way through it. And I should be able to hold this by hand now. Okay, let's swap over to our other camera. We can see a little bit better. And we've got this drilled out. I do want to flatten the edges. It's a little curved there, so bear with me. I'm gonna have to plug up my belt sander over here. One of the benefits of having a small shop. You get to plug and unplug stuff so you don't run out of room, huh? Oop, went to the wrong side. Let's try that again. All right. If y'all have any comments to make, I'd appreciate it. Maybe a better way to do this when you're trying to film, but anyway. A little toasty in the shop today. Anyway, I think we successfully made a little bit larger of a bushing, so that was our end game. The 5/16 seems to fit just right. Let's take this clamp. Take our Allen wrench and clamp that down and see if this doesn't work a lot better than the 5/8 was. Find a hole, there we go. All right, and the way this clamp works, you can just crank it down to whatever thickness you're trying to hold down. If I wanted to hold down that tape measure, I'm a little too high there. And the pressure it puts against the holes just allows me to clamp it down. Let's loosen that up even some more. And there we go, good clamp. All right, so that finishes up today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I know these are nothing fancy, nothing life-altering, but I want to just give you a kind of a view of how I work on little projects, trying to fix things and make things a little better. And I hope you'll join me in the next episode. So once again, thanks for joining One Handy Guy.